Welcome to today's very special episode of DBATE, a podcast by Demac. Today, we're not just talking about real estate, we're talking about real style. I'm Chris Swanson, Vice President at Demac, and I'm joined here in the heart of Demac Hills by Kyle Richardson, one of the creative minds behind Villa Divine, the award-winning design-led lifestyle brand that started when they took a look at Demac Hills, one of the villas, and turned it into something even more spectacular. Since landing in Dubai in 2020, Kyle and his wife Jessica, who's not here with us today, have completely reimagined what livability means. So, whether you're a homeowner dreaming of your next project, a real estate agent trying to tap into what actually sells, or a developer who thinks lifestyle ends at the front door, then this is the episode that will shift your perspective. Let's get into it. Kyle, welcome. Thanks for joining us here.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
And apologies to Jessica. I know that she could not be here with us today.
Yeah, she would have really enjoyed it, but unfortunately she had to head back to the UK for a little while.
Yeah, fair enough. So you'll have to wear both hats.
Yeah, yes. She'll be missed, but and also she'll be quite jealous as well because this is right up her street.
Well, maybe we can do this again.
Yeah, ideal.
So before we dive in, can we talk about Villa Divine?
Yeah.
I mean, as a name, it's instantly memorable.
The word divine is something that's actually been in our family for quite a long time.
Yeah.
I was raised in a quite a quaint little village in Northumberland in the UK by my grandparents, and my grandmother especially used to do a lot of cooking at home. Everything was home baked, so it was either scones or rock cakes or something like that. So she was always in the kitchen, always making very good food. And there was a word that always sort of came out during meal times, and it was always, "That's divine."
Amazing.
So it was a word that I grew up with for a long time. And then I think one of the first houses that we developed in Demac was a VD1. So we had V and D, and that we had Villa Divine sort of was born, So I had links back in the UK from it, and then that was the creation of Villa Divine.
Sounds like it was meant to be. So before we get into exactly what's behind your design ethos and what you bring to the table as well, we're here in Demac Hills where you started it.
Yeah.
Why did you choose this community?
There was quite a few reasons why we settled in Demac. What initially brought me here was some friends of ours moved from Hong Kong. Okay. They brought their family here, and they were living in the Topanga community. And the friend who moved across here really enjoyed playing golf. So he was quite good, and I wasn't as good. But I am quite competitive when it comes to sport. So we started playing on the par 3. Which then led to the 18-hole golf course, which is quite challenging. And we got to know the community very well. We were spending time on the golf course. We were in the clubhouse, and because I was not so good at golf, and I'm better at tennis, I then challenged my friend to start playing tennis as well because I knew I'd beat him. So we started more golf, more tennis in the clubhouse. Got to know the community and started sort of really appreciating what was around us. I think with pets and things like that and families, it's a very nice community to be a part of. So it was the sporting element first that brought us here, and then spending time with our friends in their villa made us really appreciate the space that was available. So we moved from an apartment on the Palm to a 3-bed villa in Demac. It's we've had several villas in Demac now, but it was what drew us here was the community and the sport.
Community first, active lifestyle.
Community and activities, yeah.
But like you said, you've had several villas from Demac. What is it about a Demac Villa that you like? Because we're in one right now and they're beautiful to start with.
Yeah, I mean, this villa in particular really personifies, I think, what we were looking for. Contemporary design, modern light, lots of natural light. I think where a lot of the other developers do fall short is the little details. You know, I think when you talk about ceiling height in a room, if you walk into a villa or an apartment and the ceiling is low, it just sort of feels a little bit compressed, and you don't have that feeling of space. So if you combine natural light with lots of glass, a contemporary design, high ceilings, it just gives that air of space, air of luxury, and comfort. And I think all of the Demac villas do that very well. This villa here, if you look at where we are now, you're surrounded by natural light and good views.
Double height ceilings.
Yeah. And you don't get that. And I think when you're looking at just a pleasant place to stay and spend time, the indoor-outdoor feel is something that really makes a home more enjoyable, which I think is very important.
Yeah, I'm sure it helps with your legendary pool parties as well.
The pool parties are definitely enhanced. Yeah.
So let's rewind before the parties, before the awards.
Yeah.
Go back to your first one. Did you think that you were doing this with a bigger plan in mind? Were you intending this to be your forever home?
No, we were quite fortunate. I think we were quite fortunate because we were living in an apartment on the Palm, and it was when COVID set in.
Yeah.
And it was actually uncanny, the timing of it, because literally the week before COVID sort of took hold over here, we moved from a 1-bed apartment into a 3-bed villa. But it wasn't really a journey that we thought we were going to develop into property development and interior design and renovations. It was more of I think looking for more space and looking for an improvement in our lifestyle. That was the start. But the way it developed, we were sort of guided a little bit by the property market and the renovation market across here. Obviously, property prices have gone up. The way Dubai handled COVID brought a lot of attention, a positive light across over here. And then I think we realized at the time that we enjoyed what we were doing.
Yeah.
You know, and it brought Jessica very much enjoys the interior design aspect, the staging, furniture, all of that. I enjoy looking at spaces and trying to utilize them to the best they can be by removing a wall, moving this, moving that, and just creating a space that suits our life. So it was something that brought us together, and it almost became a hobby that then progressed into a bit more of a profession.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like COVID was a blessing in some ways. Then
I honestly think so, because had that not happened, and we hadn't moved and we hadn't got on that journey, we wouldn't have done what we have done over the last few years.
And what do you think COVID's done in terms of what buyers expect out of properties, with more working from home, wanting more indoor-outdoor spaces like you've talked about?
Yeah, I think exactly that. I think people who needed to rely on their home as an office space, if you're married, if you have children, if you have pets, I think a lot of people wanted to then make their home probably, they wanted to adapt and personalize their home. So certainly office space, there were less opportunities to go out, you know, so home entertainment became very important. Wellness became very important, you know, looking after yourself. So you have got the entertainment and social element, but then you've also got health and fitness, you know. So the latest villa that we handed over, we had a very good home for entertaining, but we also had a steam room and sauna. So the recovery and the wellness element, which I think now, because Dubai is a very fast-paced place to live, and there's a lot of sport available here. Yeah. Recovery and mental wellness is incredibly important.
So it's about balance, right? And
yeah.
you know, you mentioned, you know, Jess is more into the interior design side. You're more into the functional space.
Yeah.
Jess isn't here, so you have to play fair with this next question.
Yeah, I'll just take all the credit.
How do you balance, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you have conflict where she wants to do something with the design that may not work functionally and vice versa.
Renovations and property development isn't easy. You know, there are thousands of variables. I have an opinion on how I think something should be done, and Jess has an opinion on how she thinks should be done. But I think that when a team works, I think you can then get to a happy ground. You know, if you have an idea, you bring those ideas to light, and I think then you slowly understand each other, and you know when to stop. You know, otherwise, if there is a disagreement, I think you have to find the happy medium.
But it sounds like you consciously lean on each other's strengths and you recognize what those are.
Yeah.
And that's been helpful for your success.
Yeah.
But it can't have always been that way. What things have you seen or have you done that you'd advise maybe some people that are getting started on their design journey to avoid?
I think you have to give yourself more time than you think, especially if you're developing a house that you need to move into. If you have a family, I think it's very important to deal with a contractor or a developer, get a timeline, but then also give yourself a buffer. I think it's very important to give yourself more time on the project, because without doubt, during the project there will be changes. You know, something will be painted, something will be installed, something will be done. You walk in and it's like, it's not quite right. I need to redo that. And redoing something or changing something, you're then reliant on labor being available, material being available, and then you have the time it takes to actually then change what you want to change. And that then also has an impact on the tradespeople or the parts of the project following on from that. So if you don't give yourself enough time, you're putting yourself under a lot of pressure. But you have to realize that on the journey that you're on, to get to the end product that everyone's happy with, you will make changes. So you have to have a time to make those changes. So that, I think the timeline is very important. And then budget. Obviously, finances are very important. You know, you want to make sure that you can afford to do the project and get the end result that you're looking for. But again, similar to time, I think you need to have a little bit of a buffer for changes, additional work. You know, when you have developed a property, you may want to add certain things. You know, and there may be additional scope, there may be different material. You know, there's a lot of things that can impact on cost.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So definitely give yourself the patience and the buffer zone to work.
Yeah.
So you do this in Dubai heavily.
Yeah.
And you also do it elsewhere.
Yeah.
How would you compare Dubai buying habits and behaviors?
Yeah.
And what buyers expect in terms of, let's call it a modern sense of luxury.
Yeah.
As compared to elsewhere in the world that you work.
Yeah. It's perfect timing actually, because I've recently bought a home in the UK for my mum, and so I've seen firsthand the procedure, the time it takes to get a property in the UK over the line. This property in particular, it's probably taken around 6 months, I think, to get everything locked in. You know, so surveys, dealing with solicitors, contracts, various governing bodies, stamp duty, which is a very, very expensive part. So what took 6 months in the UK, I believe would probably be a month to 2 months over here. You know, so I think Dubai, especially the real estate industry, and Dubai in a whole, I believe it's very fast paced.
Yeah.
You know, there's convenience. Everybody wants everything quickly.
Yeah.
And it's structured in a way for convenience. You know, I think we have all of the likes of Deliveroo and Talabat and things like that. You know, you can get a taxi immediately. There's all sorts of conveniences here, which Dubai is doing very well. But I must commend the conveyancing teams of the real estate agencies here. The land department is incredibly efficient. You know, you arrange a time to go and do a house transfer. You meet the real estate agents. You're meeting the buyer of the property. The conveyancing team are there. It's methodical. It's very, very good. Your Emirates ID. There we go. Paperwork's drafted, title deeds back in hand, and it's over and done with.
Amazing.
So I mean, yeah, you sort of take it for granted a little bit, but then when you go to the UK and you see all of the paperwork backwards and forwards, solicitors' costs, fees, timelines, a name change, this, that, the other, and it drags on for so long, and then you do exactly the same thing here, and it's just seamless and very, very quick.
Let's give you a chance to give some advice to other people who are part of the buy-in cycle.
Yeah.
What do you think real estate agents might overlook or not mention enough when it comes to showing a property?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good question, because I've been a buyer and I've been a seller, so I've seen the transaction process. And I've seen, and I've dealt with a lot of the real estate agents. A lot of the real estate agents are very good. For me, for the houses that we've worked on, developed and sold, I think going into more detail and finding out exactly what has been done to the property, and finding out what materials have been used, what warranties are in place, what checks have been carried, like what work is being carried out. So we want to hand over a project and a product that the end user can enjoy without any risk.
Yeah. So
I think just doing a little bit more on the research into what is included in the purchase would be something that I would focus on.
Good advice. Good advice. Right, real quick. Few more quick fire questions for you. Let's go back to you and Jess.
Yeah.
And Villa Divine. Why are you so public and outspoken there on social media, willing to do podcasts like this?
Yeah. I think it's the lifestyle that the projects that we work on, we build and develop houses the way we like to enjoy the home, you know. So I think making it appealing to other people and showing other people what can be done, and how long it takes, what are the pitfalls, what are the pleasures, what to avoid, you know, and sort of sharing the journey, and then meeting people who are interested in that journey. So it's sharing our journey and then being introduced to other people who are in a similar industry. Yeah. It's always quite interesting, you know, when other people are looking to do similar things to you.
So what's next for you? Maybe an expansion, collaboration?
It's not really a case of getting bigger and bigger. I think it's a case of bringing more ideas, but then also collaborating with potentially some other interior designers, you know, because we've obviously got our brand and we have our ideas on how we like to set up and renovate, but then other interior designers have got their own ideas. So it's very interesting to see what they come up with the same space, because the way we look at a villa, we have our sort of standard renovation and we have our standard sort of plans and things. Other people have different ideas, so it's always interesting to collaborate and to understand what other people would do with the same space and see what comes of it.
Yeah,
amazing. So we have some interesting projects coming up.
We're excited to see where this heads. Final word of advice for maybe the developers out there, people just starting on their journey. Last words of advice for people.
Because timelines are very important, so plan more at the beginning. You know, go and see as many projects, get as many ideas put together as possible, because if you start on the right foot, it's more enjoyable. It's less. There's less stress. So get all of the ideas, as many ideas in as possible at first. Plan properly. Give yourself more time. Yeah, and then it's enjoyable.
All right, wonderful. Well, thanks for being with us today, Kyle.
Thank you very much.
Apologies to Jessica for not being able to join.
Yeah, much appreciated.
And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.